Hey everybody, it's me, Richard, with Nightmares, Tears, Anyone. Today it's Wednesday, April 13th, and guess what? I got books in the mail. And I'm going to be doing a review on 2019 and 2020's The Fear Zone and Fear Zone Part 2 by K.R. Alexander. Come right back. Hey everybody, it's me, Richard. Welcome back. So, guess what? Well, I got a haircut yesterday. Yeah, and she did a phenomenal job. So, yeah, I just had to throw that out there. But, you guys, I am going to be doing a review today on K.R. Alexander's The Fear Zone and its sequel, Fear Zone Part 2. Now, what can I say? Oh, I'm in a Stephen King kind of mood today. Yeah, I even have my Eyes of Pennywise bracelet on. And I've got my Crocs on with all my Stephen King gibbets. Yeah, I've got my horror Crocs on today. So, you guys, first off, let's get into the reviews. Then, I'm going to open what's in this bag. Yeah. What did I want to talk about really quick? So yeah, these two books. Hang on, guys. I need to take a sip of coffee. Actually, it's only 12:40. I'm already on my second pot. Yeah, not second cup. Second pot. Yep, no joke. Second pot. So, let's get into the reviews. So somebody sent me an email the other day, and they said, "Richard, how do you get free audiobooks? I noticed on your other channel." Yes, my other channel is Real Men Craft 2, TOO, and I posted on there how when I do my diamond paintings, I love to listen to audiobooks. Now, audiobooks is not something that I've been used to doing. I've only picked up audiobooks in like the last 2 years, and I'm addicted because I could never be read to before. I hated being read to as a kid. Even as an adult, I could never understand what, well, it's not that I couldn't understand. I didn't take it in and remember what was being told to me. And now I have the hiccups. Sorry, you guys. But yeah, so, of course, you guys know, especially those of you that follow me here on my BookTube channel, my Nightmares, Tears, Anyone. I have Scribd, which is books, audiobooks, magazines. I have a membership to Scribd, but if I can't find a book right then on Scribd, I'll usually go to Libby. Now, Libby is a free app. It's through your local library. Now, I can't say that every single city and state has Libby, because I know Christy Randazzo, where she lives in Texas, they don't have Libby. Yeah, and Christy, yes, I gave you another shout out. I think Christy and I are secret boyfriend and girlfriends. Yeah, we don't really know it yet. Yeah, but I was telling her the other day, I think she's my secret crush now that B doesn't have her channel anymore, and and I don't get to see Bee all the time in her beautiful face. And speaking of Bee, she's overseas right now on vacation. She's having a wonderful time. But yeah, I think Christy Randazzo and I are, I think we're secret boyfriend and girlfriends. Yeah, maybe not, but I don't know. But anyway, so you can go to Libby. You actually go to, you pull up your local library with your zip code. You key in your library card, and then you download the Libby app. Now, the Libby app is really, really cool. They have audiobooks, tons and tons and tons of audiobooks. You go to the audiobook tab, you type in a search for horror, and then you check them out for 21 days. It's really, really cool. It's the same exact audiobook that you would get from Audible or Amazon or there's a bunch of them, but it's the same exact audiobook that you would get from there. So speaking of Stephen King right now, I am listening to the audiobook of Firestarter because the movie comes out in May. And I'm really pumped to see the movie. The girl looks really, really good in it. And hey, Zac Efron plays her dad. How can you go wrong? Yeah, if we get to see Zac Efron with his shirt off, hey, it'll make up even if it's a bad adaptation. Now, so yeah, go to Libby and do it that way, you guys. And you can listen to more than one at a time. So let's get into these reviews. So the first book, well, both of these books are written by K.R. Alexander. Now, K.R. Alexander he does write adult horror, but he's known, I think, more for being a YA horror thriller author, but I don't care. I don't care if it's a YA book. If it's a good book, it's a good book. And this book here, I'm going to download both the covers. Well, I already have them, but I'm going to show you the covers of the first one, Fear Zone, and its sequel, Fear Zone 2. Now, Fear Zone came out in September of 2019, September or August or something like that. Has 304 pages. The second one came out in 2020, has like 351, 52 pages. You guys, now, you all know that I'm scared to death of clowns. You know I love Pennywise. You know I love Stephen King's It. But here we go. Let's talk about the Fear Zone. Now, first, I'm gonna, because it's been a while since, well, not a while, but about 2 weeks since I finished the Fear Zone 1. And there's my review of it on my Goodreads account. Yeah. So I'm going to read to you what I wrote on the first part. Fear Zone. What scared you as a child? Did you have a best friend? I did. Starla Todd. She's no longer with me or with us. She has passed away onto the heavenly horror highway. Did you have a true best friend you would have done anything for? What about fight your fears for and with them to survive? These 5 teens brought the true meaning of coming of age to life in the Fear Zone. I loved this book. Okay, I listened to this morning in 3 hours and 10 minutes. Now, like I said, I wrote this on April 7th. I listened to this morning in 3 hours and 10 minutes and could not wait to start part 2. Yes, this book is a blatant retelling of Pennywise from that other huge-ass tome of horror and sci-fi, but this book was absolutely a blast to listen to and share the adventures of these 5 kids being terrorized by what scares them. Do they all survive? You'll have to check it out and find out. Now, never having listened to this author or read anything by this author, I was hooked from the first opening pages. And with it being narrated by 5 different voice actors, yes, there's 5 teenagers. Each teenager has its own specific voice done by either an actor or an actress, which was absolutely fucking phenomenal. 5 different voice actors, but when the lead actor, being a girl, would voice the character of the clown, because this clown doesn't have a voice, a name. was absolutely ridiculous. She always sounded like a French grandmother. She'd sound like this European grandmother instead of a terrorizing clown. You know, when you have a terrorizing clown, you want a scary terrorizing voice. But when the voices of the boy characters did it, it was really creepy. But when April, the character that voices April, did it, it was really bad. She sounded like a French grandmother instead of a terrifying image in my mind of a demonic clown. Now, if you are a person who has always wanted to attempt to read it or that other big giant book, but were too scared or did not want to either delve into extreme graphic violence and horror and that huge page count of 1,300 pages, 1,200 pages, whatever it was, this book is perfectly for you. Perfect. And actually, I got more scared and creeped out by this book than I ever did with the other one. Truthfully, I did. This book really creeped me out in parts. The scenes are so well written without using any graphic language. Yes, there's no swearing at all in this book. And it made it so perfect for kids who like to be scared. Or any graphic violence. That you are truly terrified by the scenes of something being in the bathtub. Yeah, have you ever been in the bathtub and swore to God you felt something like slither up between your legs? Heaven forbid, go up there or even near there. Yeah, like it did in Nightmare on Elm Street by Wes Craven. Yes, Wes Craven did it phenomenally. And it also happened in the terrifying other Wes Craven movie, which was one of his first horror movies, Deadly Blessing. Yeah, Sharon Stone's very first movie. So where was I at? Oh. Who like to be scared or no violence, that you are truly terrified by the scenes of something being in the bathtub of one of the teens, or being chased through your yard by a fanged clown ringing a bell, or something trying to kill you in the pool during gym class, and other Alexandra pulls, and oh my God, am I just messing up today, you guys, or what? And I need to put my glasses on. That's the problem. I'm trying to read something and I can't freaking see what I'm reading. Yeah. An author, not and other, and author Alexander pulls all these off perfectly. Welcome to Iowa, everyone, and listen for that little bell sound. And oh yeah, never go into a graveyard at midnight and follow instructions to open a grave or dig me up. Loved this book. It would have gotten a perfect 5 scream from me, but that girl's clown voice was awful. I gave it 4.5. Scary clowns. Yeah, you guys, I loved this book. Now, I wrote the kids' names down because I know I was going to forget. I know the lead girl was April. She is a picked on. She's not the prettiest girl in her class, but she's picked on. She's chubby. She's very not introverted, but she's very shy. So she's picked on by the more popular kids in the school. And one of the girls in her classroom, Caroline, she's the rich bitch, but she's not called the rich bitch in this book. She's the rich snobby girl. And so there was April, there was Kyle, and his friend Andres, who is Kyle and Andres are both gay teens. They are boyfriends in the book, which I absolutely thought was so perfectly well written. And you guys, why keep this from kids? It's part of life. It's not like the 60s, 50s and 60s where, you know, we had to hide who we were as kids. And it's so perfectly portrayed in this book. It was absolutely beautiful. So there's April, there's Kyle and Andres, there's Sean, and then there's Caroline. Caroline's the snobby bitch. But, yeah. And these 5 kids are invited one night to, they're not even really invited. They just get this weird note in either their school book or in their lockers that says, graveyard, midnight, or else. Well, midnight is referring to Halloween night. Now, it's known for brave teenagers and high schoolers to go to the graveyard at midnight on Halloween night and party or have seances and all this other weird stuff. Well, April, now Caroline's not involved at this point right at the beginning, but April, Kyle, Deshawn, and Andres, you know, Kyle is kind of like leery, but Andres and Deshawn, they really want to do it. But the other two are like, do we really want to do this? Well, they do. They go to the graveyard at midnight, and they come upon this weird headstone, and they go to where they're, you know, where they're instructed later through little notes and puzzles and stuff that they find throughout the day. But anyway, they find this headstone. They find this crumpled orange piece of paper. They unfold the paper, and on the paper it says something in the lines of like, "Find me, you know, dig here, dig me up." Come on. Are you gonna fucking dig up a graveyard? Or, yeah, even a graveyard, a tombstone, even one little hole in a graveyard at midnight on Halloween? This screaming ass chicken shit isn't gonna do it. And I'm gonna be 62 years old. Yeah, this ass ain't doing it. Hell no am I digging anything up at midnight on Halloween in a graveyard. But they open up a can of worms where, let me tell you what, like I said, the book I read I listened to it in 3 hours and 10 minutes. And I think I listened to it at 1.6 or 1.7. It's so well written. It was so damn much fun. It's intense. It's scary. It's creepy as hell. In fact, the night that I finished this book, the day that I read this book, that night I went to bed, and I swear to God, I was hearing that ding, ding, ding. You remember those old bells that we had on our bikes where you kind of triggered the little ting, you know, that little ring, ring, and you made that bell noise? I was hearing that. Yeah. And Bruce was like, okay, do you have nightmares over damn clowns? Well, I did. I had a nightmare. Didn't wake up screaming. In fact, speaking of nightmares, Christy Randazzo, you were cracking my ass up in your email you sent me. It's not funny, but almost breaking a table. Oh my God, I was laughing my ass off. So, this video, I'm almost at 17 minutes, you guys. So, yeah, but this book, it's great. All I can say is I would recommend this book to anybody who loves a good creepy story that takes place on Halloween. If you're petrified of clowns, if you're petrified of, the snakes and spiders don't really come into the second book. And, so the second book, speaking of, which is this cover here, The Fear Zone 2, this one takes place 2 years after The Fear Zone. Now, they're all a couple years older. They're either seniors in high school or they're getting ready to go to college. And yes, I know all of you are going to say, oh my God, that's a blatant ripoff of that other book. It might be a blatant ripoff, but like I said in the beginning, if a story is well written, who cares? There's been millions of books, whether you're looking at historical fiction, romance, history, kids' adventure books, Tarzan books. No book is going to be 100% original in its pages of terror and dread or love and romance. We're all going to have recurrences or scenes that remind us of something else. But if a book is written well, who cares? And this book is written very, very, very well. Now, part 2 came out in 2020. It's called The Fear Zone 2. Yes, like I said, it does pick up 2 years later. This book, even though you don't go into not knowing who these characters are, you already know who they are. But this book, I'm going to show you what I gave this book. Wait till you see the rating I gave this book. This book got a 5-star review from me. Now, I said in this review, now this review is really, really, really quick. Oh, actually, no, I only gave this one, well, I'll tell you. Picks up 2 years after the end of Fair Zone. Yes. This, I think, was just as good, if not better in some parts than the first part. Yes, book 1. Now, this is a perfect ending to a very creepy clown thriller. And you guys, speaking of creepy clown thriller, these are the books that other clown that was like hiding in a cornfield, this is what that book wanted to be. And yeah, it wasn't. And for being a YA novel, I was really surprised for how creepy these books were. I have fallen in love with the author K.R. Alexander, and hoping that the 2 books I just got delivered are going to be as good as these 2 were. So yes, that's what I'm talking about right here. I think that's what's in this thing from Amazon. Halloween night, midnight, this time the 5 teens are going to be going to the Scary Carnival at midnight. Yeah, scary carnivals with things like this. Yeah, they're gonna go to Creepy Charlie's Carnival at midnight. Oh my God, this carnival is the scariest sounding carnival of, yeah. Is the idea better than going to the graveyard at midnight? Now, if you were to ask me, I'd say yes, because at a carnival there's rides, and I'm a ride whore. I'm a ride fiend. Unless it's those scary sit down and ride through haunted house rides, I hate those things. And those of you guys that have followed me, you know how I feel about those things because I talked about it in 2 of my old videos. I don't know. You'll have to delve into the Fear Zone Part 2 and find out for yourself. I love the way K.R. Alexander has 2 of the main boy characters, Kyle and Andres, being of the LGBTQ plus society. Very well written and not a bit of bad language or sex. Highly recommended with this one. Ready to meet the clown? This one I gave 4 creepy clown ratings. And you know, I was thinking about it, and it's kind of funny because since I wrote this review, I would give this book almost probably a 4.75. It was almost sheer perfect. Yeah, it was almost perfectly written. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And these books, if you combine them together into one book, it actually made me tear up in a couple of the scenes. Yeah, so let's get into opening this package. So this came from Amazon. I'm sure I know what's in there. Yep, this is exactly what I thought it was. So speaking of K.R. Alexander, here's 2 more K.R. Alexander books. Yes. Here's the first one, The Collector. Creepy ass doll on the cover of that one. Here's the second one in the series of this book, The Collected. More creepy doll parts. Yeah. So I'm just going to read the backs of these really quick, and then I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. But speaking before I say goodbye, if you guys love horror as much as I do and you haven't done so yet, and you do like my videos or follow my videos, I would love a thumbs up. Throw me a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so yet already, please hit that subscribe button, and you can ring that little bell, activate it to where it says all so you don't miss any of my horror content. So you guys, let's read the back of these 2 books, and then I'm going to be saying goodbye, you guys. So the first one, like I said, yeah, it says, never, ever go by the house in the woods. Josie always liked visiting her grandmother's house, but when she's forced to move there, she starts to feel like something is a little off. Her grandmother has some very strange rules. 1, never leave your windows open after dark. 2, no dolls in the house. 3, never ever go by the house in the woods. A little spooked, Josie is relieved to find that her school seems pretty normal. She even manages to make friends with a popular girl named Vanessa. When Vanessa invites Josie back to her house to hang out, Josie doesn't question it. Not even when Vanessa takes her into the woods and down an old dirt road toward the very house her grandmother has warned her about. The house that has been calling out for her. That's the first one. The second one is The Collected, and it says on the back, it felt like we were going back into a nightmare. Anna has never been like other kids. Things that should never have come alive seem to come alive in her presence, like dolls. And other times it feels like she is able to bring things to life that would be better left dead. When Anna and her family must return to her grandmother's spooky house, Anna's sister Josie is terrified. Josie never talks about what happened to her there, so Anna has grown up not knowing about the evil that waits for her in the woods. The closer the evil gets, the stronger Anna's frightening power grows. Can she control it, or will it control her? You know what? I think The Collected is the first one. I better check this out really quick. I might have told you guys them in the wrong order. So this one came out in 2020. The Collector came out in 2018. So yeah, I was right. The Collector is first. The Collected is number 2. So you guys, once again, I'm Richard with Nightmares, Tears, Anyone. And I want to tell you thanks so much for stopping by, taking some time out of your day just to spend with me. Listen to what I had to talk about. Take care, you guys. I'm Richard. And as always, live your life like a book. Just don't turn that last page, because once you do, it's over, you guys. Once again, pick up a good scary book. Have perfect nightmares. I don't have perfect nightmares at all. But you guys, I'm Richard with Nightmares, Tears, Anyone. Yeah, I should narrate a book, huh? Yeah. And to my secret girl crush, Christy, I'll talk to you soon, literally. And you guys take care. Once again, I'll see you in the next scary video.